Welcome to the all season. Yup, not just alt season, but all season. This is where every asset class is pumping. All, as in everything. Bitcoin pumps, altcoins pump, meme coins pump, even the S&P 500 is hitting all-time highs. High-yield corporate bonds are up too. Everything is pumping, except gold. In this video, we'll dive into what's next after the Moonvemble narrative. Especially after Donald Trump wins in 2025. It's not alt season, not Bitcoin season, not meme season. It's all season, where it all goes up together. Let's dive into altcoin season first. But before we do, there are a few things you need to know. First, as of this video, BTC dominance is still pretty high, but we're already seeing some altcoins join the pump. Second, some coins don't even need an altcoin season to pump. So if you're confident in certain coins, you don't have to wait for altcoin season. Third, let's agree on what altcoin season actually means. It's when 50 altcoins outperform Bitcoin. On CoinMarketCap, it's called an altcoin season. When 75% of the top 100 altcoins beat Bitcoin's performance. So, what's the main thesis for this altcoin season if it happens? Remember, not every altcoin needs an alt season to pump. Now, looking back at 2024, there wasn't an alt season because of regulations, industry conditions, and maybe some players that didn't support it. What about 2025? Here's the thesis for an altcoin season in 2025. First up, we've got regulatory improvements. Based on data from the Stand with Crypto initiative, both the Senate and House are now run by pro-crypto folks. Plus, Gary Gensler stepping down from the SEC is a huge game changer. In Biden's era, crypto faced a lot of pushback, with policies like Choke Point 2.0 and SAB 121, making 2024 a rough year for altcoins. This era might end once Trump takes office. Next, the industry and players are improving. Why couldn't altcoins pump before? There was this trend of newly launched tokens with low float and high FDV, fully diluted value. Even if those tokens dumped, venture capital still profited. This low float, high FDV trend is why new tokens launched on platforms like Launchpad often struggled post-launch. Unlike previous cycles, projects are now even delaying their TGE token generation event, probably reevaluating tokenomics since the market has rejected that trend. That's why we're seeing a meme supercycle now. Then, there's the index spot ETF in traditional markets. Stocks have risen, not just because of market demand, but due to index demand as well. In traditional markets, there are indexes like the S&P 500 top 500 companies in America, Nifty 50 top Indian companies, QQQ, top 100 NASDAQ stocks, and more. Unfortunately, crypto doesn't have an index traded on NASDAQ, but with better regulation, we might see one. For instance, Franklin Templeton has already applied for dual Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, while WisdomTree has created an altcoin index called the WisdomTree CF Crypto Altcoin Index. There are already some crypto indices, like the Bitwise 10 Crypto Index Fund, BITW, that tracks the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap, including altcoins, and is traded on OTCQX in the US. An altcoin index on NASDAQ would bring much higher liquidity, which would be a game changer. Lastly, there's the shift of retail assets from Bitcoin to altcoins. Note that Bitcoin's performance has been hard to beat this cycle, because the players are different now. It's corporate and institutional money, even government level. Unlike before, we're seeing a different caliber here. So while retail investors who already profited from Bitcoin may want to rotate to altcoins, it's bittersweet if institutions end up holding more Bitcoin than retail investors. Now, let's talk Bitcoin. Bitcoin and altcoin seasons are like magnets, pulling against each other. Based on the altcoin season index, most days aren't in season, making altcoin picking tougher. So sticking to a strategy of 80% Bitcoin and 20% altcoins has been effective in navigating the 2024 market. Bitcoin has the answers. You don't have to rotate assets. All the answers are available on sites like BELAJAR, Bitcoin.com, while altcoins have the potential for huge returns. Bitcoin offers slow but steady growth. Speaking of which, if you're a Muslim investor looking for Sharia-compliant coins, Bybit has the first ever Islamic account on a global exchange, collaborating with Crypto Halal and Zico Sharia to list 19 Sharia-compliant tokens. Now back to Bitcoin season. What's the main thesis for it this time? First, there's the potential win of Donald Trump with a pro-crypto Senate. We'll know for sure after the Electoral College on December 16th. Then there's the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, planning to buy 1 million Bitcoins over the next 5 years as America's reserve asset. When the US government starts buying, expect FOMO from other governments. There's also a big corporate FOMO potential. MicroStrategy's Bitcoin investment strategy has boosted their stock price significantly, so companies might start following suit. Microsoft even has a vote scheduled on December 10th about buying Bitcoin. Then we have Korea's Bitcoin Spot ETF, which could drive more demand than in the US, as Korea's kimchi premium has driven massive demand in the past. With cyclical Bitcoin entering the banana zone and 4-year having patterns showing predictable behavior, this could be the time to maximize gains. The big risk: black swan events, like Trump facing assassination threats, the failure of the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, or another major Bitcoin holder going bankrupt. Let's wrap it up. All season is happening. Not just Bitcoin or alt season, but all season. However, remember, there's always a counterpoint, like economic recession or unexpected geopolitical shocks. As irrational as markets and the world can be, Bitcoin's cycles have held strong over time. So, enjoy the all season, everyone.